It's Money Manifesting Monday. Pick your message and go to the corresponding timestamp listed below. And let's get ready to destroy those abundance blockers. Manifesting message number 1. Let's see what you received this week. We have exercise to increase your energy and manifestation abilities. Yeah, we got to get moving. Looks like that's the key for this week is to get moving. All right, the key to manifesting quickly is to have very high energy levels. And the easiest way to increase them is through physical exercise. So choose a fun and meaningful activity so you'll look forward to exercising and it becomes its own reward. I don't know about you, but that's a hard one for me. I mean, finding something that makes you want to get up and move, especially if you're overweight and COVID, you've gained all kinds of weight if you're like me. But it's important to find something fun. It doesn't have to be anything expensive like a gym membership, but it's really important to, even if you're just dancing around alone in your room. Your next message out is transform. So success and breakthroughs are coming this week. So if you want to break through your internal blocks and stop struggling, you have to do things differently than what you've been doing so far. Yeah, break out, do something you wouldn't normally do. What do they say? That the idea of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So this week especially, think about what's not working. I mean, that block, you know the answer. A lot of times we just pretend or we push it away because it's hard, right? Change is hard. So this week, get moving and don't be afraid to change. Now we have work smart on the table. So the 3 bullet points for this particular card are: 1, you're making it harder than it has to be. So think about that roadblock that you're putting in front of yourself, okay? That it doesn't have to be hard. It really, most of the hard part is getting past our own mental blocks. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, the second bullet point is perhaps it's time to clean house personally and professionally, to start a clean palette. I like to, every once in a while, take my space, whether it's my bedroom or my workspace, and completely remove everything. So if I take everything out of the drawers and the closets and then, go through everything piece by piece, does it need to be here? Am I using it? Same thing with my workspace. It really does get you energized again. Sometimes you even come up and you find something that you forgot was there. And this is important. It could be a phone number of a person who said, hey, let's meet for coffee. And you didn't do that. And now you're like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that now. That might be the transform and the breakthrough. That might be the person that helps you break through your roadblock. Okay. 3rd bullet point is stick to basic needs when it comes to spending and putting money aside. So that's that getting into the discipline of putting something away. So if you are younger, and even every nickel and dime makes a difference, I remember how that was. But even the act of doing a dime, a quarter, and you might be rolling your eyes, but I'm saying it and I'm telling you, you need to listen. $1, anything you can, put it aside. It's more of getting into the habit of doing it. And one day you will be surprised when you don't have a tank of gas and you actually end up having, that money set aside somewhere. So don't poo-poo the change, guys. Do not poo-poo the change. It adds up. And especially if you're manifesting, the law of attraction is about what you're putting out is what you're going to get back. So if you're showing and you're making progress towards anything like that, even, nickel, a dime, a quarter, $1, putting that away, you will end up finding more money. I mean, just this week, where I was concerned about a certain bill that was coming up that I needed to pay. And out of the sheer blue, came this check from a company, a co-op, an electric co-op from 20 years ago. Guys, I'm telling you, miracles like that happen all the time. Okay, so just keep the faith and keep going. Your last card that came out is windfall. And see, that check for me was just a windfall. And this is what they're saying. Have faith that it will show up. The money will show up for you. So start to act as if you already have the money. Put that little bit away. Put that just a little bit away, and it'll start to happen. The 3 bullet points on your windfall card, let's go over them one by one. So the first one says you're about to receive a windfall of money or a pay raise. So there, I mean, the universe is already telling you the money's going to come when you need it. The second bullet point says money is currently in a positive cycle. Again, a nod to you. It's okay. Everything is going to be fine. It's temporary, right? Everything that you're struggling with is temporary. Third bullet point is this is a great time to treat yourself or make that big purchase. So invest in yourself. Do it differently this week, okay? Have faith. The money's going to show the universe that you're, doing what you need to do. Just start that discipline, okay? Wishing you all the health, wealth, and abundance, and I hope to see you back next week, guys. Take care. If you chose the second pile, your main message, oh, you hear my dog Pebbles. She's startled. She's startled. All right, so we have courage to ask for and accept help. Some of you need to ask for help. Pride gets in the way, and we don't. And if you're like me and your pride gets in the way, your number one thing this week is to find someone you trust and ask for it. Just start, okay? So it says, asking for help is a sign of strength, as is accepting it as it is offered to you. Very often when you ask God for help, prayers are answered through other people. Be sure to accept this assistance as well as give it to others as you are guided. So it's not weakness. I know it's hard to think that, especially if you're used to doing things on your own, or you've been forced to do things on your own because of things that were out of your control. People died, someone left, or there was a divorce, and you've had to stand on your own 2 feet and be the provider. If you've experienced that, sometimes it's hard to rely on other people, which is a trust factor. And for this week, to get ahead in your manifesting, Spirit, God, universe, whatever label you want to say, is asking you to look at your trust in other people and in yourself to be able to accept and give help. Your next card out is strategize. So results aren't coming fast enough. You need a solid step-by-step strategy in place that takes the guesswork out of growing your business. So when you're dealing with other people or you're asking for help, they're going to want to know specifics, right? It's just like you need a plan so that you can show somebody what you're trying to do. So communication is clear. And this helps not only you, it's going to help them, and it'll help you get faster. So if you actually haven't sat down and thought about how it is you want to accomplish something, and listen, God doesn't expect you, or the universe doesn't expect you to, have all the answers. But if you take some steps, you will be just like a GPS, you will be guided towards the right way. So if you want to, start a company and, you started off looking for loans, and the universe will say that's not what you need to do right now. You need to find your partner first, because the money you're going to be asking for the bank might actually be a lot lower than you expected. So just trust that each step that you're taking in your goals, and to have them written down so that you can follow along and adjust it, tweak them monthly. Sit down and look at what you're trying to do monthly. Your third card that came out is comfort. So the 3 bullet points here are, though you're not exactly rich, you will be living comfortably. And that's a universe promise. God's saying, relax. You're going to have what you need when you need it, okay? Second bullet point says you're entering the most comfortable period of your life. So that's awesome, especially if you feel like you've been struggling for a while. This is a promise that it's going to be okay now. And now you have your finances are in a state of balance. So even if they aren't right now, this is your promise that they will be. Just take these steps. And now we have crafter. So for some of you out there, you've been thinking of starting an Etsy business. You're thinking of starting something that has a big creative, endeavor that could actually make you money. Also just joining, I don't know, guys, it could be as simple as like joining a quilting group, and then you meet other people who, have either already started or done what you want to do. And that's how the universe works, right? We take these small little steps, even for fun, and we end up meeting people that bring us to our next step. So before I read the bottom, that's where that took me, this crafter card, was that I see somebody sitting with a group of other people, either sewing or painting or, anything that's very artistic. And you talk as you're going along, and you're going to meet somebody that way. Okay, so let's go to the 3 bullet points at the bottom of this card. It says, first, there's something wonderful just waiting to be expressed with your hands. So if you have a fear that what you want to create isn't going to be accepted, this is your message that it will be, because what you're about to create is a part of you, and that you are beautiful and you do have something to produce that other people want to see. Okay, so that's your message, is like, yes, make it, create it, do it. Second point here, it says, consider careers doing homemade items or some kind of craft project. Boom, again, a double down message here. 3, think of ways to generate money that no other has done before, or try something new. So if you have a product or a thing that you make that no one else has made, don't be afraid to share it. Okay, please. So have the courage to get other people to help. And I really think for some of you out there, you need to join a group that does something fun that you like to do, some type of activity, because that's going to bring this forward. Okay, there you go. Those are your messages for this week. I am wishing you all the best. Take care. Number 3, your messages for this week are, oh, look at this, savings. So your first message is about savings. As you consistently save for your future is saved. You do your future self a big favor as you consistently set aside present funds. This is a part of your self-care and a path to feeling secure as you focus upon your life purpose. And I'm going to share with you, I don't know if my daughter's going to kill me or not, but she just started working long enough where she is now offered the ability to save for retirement. And my daughter is in her early 20s, and she called me and she's like, "Ooh, I don't know what to do. I don't think I can afford it." And I told her the same thing that someone told me in the same time of life. You can't afford not to. You may think that you're going to miss that $20 coming out of your paycheck, but you won't. And here's why. Because at the end of the tax year, right, you might struggle for a couple months, but at the end of the tax year, you will be taxed less on that income, okay? And you may even get money back. You may or may not. More likely than not, if you're making little, you will end up getting it back. It's only in the higher numbers, right, that we're playing around here. But for most of you here, you're looking to create your wealth. So it is imperative that if you have not started a savings, and I don't care if it's $1, start doing that. Every time you get a paycheck, give yourself something out of that paycheck, every single paycheck, and don't touch it. Don't touch it in case of an emergency, right? And I guarantee you guys, it does build up faster than you think. It really will. Just forget about it. Put it aside and forget about it. So that's your number 1 goal this week, is to start a savings. If you have one, check it out and see if you can't bump it up a little bit. I mean, you might struggle for just a little bit, but honestly, be honest with yourself. You know you can do something. Anything. So now we have advertise. Get the word out about your business in a strategic way. Experiment with paid advertisers to attract real buyers and build your list. Now, if you're not looking to advertise as far as like you're selling a product, but maybe you are in the light worker industry. Maybe you are doing tarot, and a lot of us can't really, we're not making a lot because we're giving away more free services than we're getting paid for. So just get your message out by, getting your friends to spread the word. Okay, because advertising, regular advertising is expensive, but word of mouth is free. Your next message says, the people you spend the most time with shape who you are. So if you have friends who don't quite understand your view or where you want to go, it's time to spend less time with them. Family members who don't see your vision, less time with them. This isn't saying to drop your friends and family. This is saying just understand that they're probably holding you back. And if you're really feeling the drive to take on this endeavor, you're doing it for a reason, right? And you need to make this money. You want to make this money. You want to do better in your life. You want to feel fulfilled. And who you surround yourself with will affect you. So pay attention to that. Not just this week, but always. Your last card is celebrate. Celebrate, all right? Celebrate what you've accomplished already. And then take some time off to celebrate the successes. This is also, to me, sitting down and focusing on gratitude and being, even gratitude to yourself for what you've accomplished. I like to keep a gratitude sheet. And when anything, like the smallest thing can happen, like, I don't know, I got a phone call and somebody gave me a compliment, or, I got a small little royalty on one of my books that I haven't sold in a very long time out of the blue, right? These little things that even if they're not a lot, you just say, oh my gosh, that was such a nice little smile, a nice little pat on the back from the universe. And when you realize if you had never done those things anyway, you wouldn't be having this good moment now. So celebrate every cool thing that happens, just anything. Just find the joy in the little things, because life isn't about the great big things that happen, which most people are looking for the great big things. That's great. That's for the movies. But for all the rest of us, we need to focus on those really cool little things every day. And for me, laugh if you will, we had a hot, hot summer, and things like I was so grateful for ice cubes over the summer. I was so thankful for air conditioning over the summer. But things like that we sometimes just take them for granted. Celebrate them, okay? So there you go. I am wishing you all the health, wealth, and abundance, you guys. And I hope to see you back next week. Take care. Message number 4. Your main message for this week is visualize abundance in all forms. God gave you such great spiritual power that everything you visualize eventually becomes reality. Hold a steady vision of that which is beautiful, healthful, positive, and filled with blessings. And that is what you will experience. You will go where you put your mind. So I think this is kind of calling a lot of us out on our negative thought processes. So if you're here, you're looking for a way to get more money and to be more financially abundant. You're an entrepreneurial mind spirit. You're a spiritual entrepreneur. You want to make more money. And if you're thinking constantly that you can't do it, there's not enough money, which, by the way, is a problem. If you think that you can't have the money or you don't deserve the money, you will never get the money. So think as one of the main things to do, exercises for building your manifesting and build your power of manifesting, is to picture in your mind the life you want, not the life you have. And it's important not to start trying to figure out the exact path. Because what happens is, I've had many conversations with people who say, I want to do this job, X, Y, and Z job. And then they instantly start thinking, I have to move to this place and I have to do, something so specific, and that's not the path that Spirit, the universe, God is going to take you on, and that will trip you. So your goal this week, and this is all I want you to do because it can be overwhelming, especially if you're new here and you're just starting out to manifesting your abundance. What I'd like you to do is just get 15, 20, if a half an hour would be great, quiet time with your favorite music on to lift your vibration, lift your spirit. And I want you to think about the life that you want. What are you doing? What's your career? Who's in your life? And I don't, it doesn't have to be specific. Like, just know if you're single and you say, I want a partner who supports me and they make me laugh and we have breakfast together every morning and then we start our day together, or, and then I take my whatever kind of car that you want to drive and I go to this type of office, or maybe you work from home. But I want you to really think about what kind of life would make you happy. Visualize it, because that is what you will call forward. Okay. Next, it says book clients. So focus on booking your calendar with enough clients to reach your monthly income goal. Now, for those of you who don't have a business set up yet, this is about meeting people who have already done what you want to do. So let's say you want to start a YouTube channel, right? And whatever it is that you want to do for a YouTube channel, but you're not quite sure even how to start. Find someone, and I can guarantee you most of the YouTubers, not the huge names, but the ones that you follow normally, if you reached out to them, even me, and said, how did you edit your videos, or what do you use to do X, Y, and Z? People will answer you. Most of the people that I've ever reached out to have always responded because they're really nice people. The average YouTuber that I find the ones that I follow have always responded, especially if I had a specific question. So don't be afraid to reach out. And when this is book clients, yes, to those of you who already have a business in place, this is your message to, go out and hunt a little bit, go hunting for your clients a little bit and see if you can't dredge up more business. But for those of you who don't, it's time to ask people who are already doing what you're doing, how they did it. Specific questions, okay? I'm sure people will be more than happy to help you. Now we have the writer cards here. So the 3 bullet points for this. Your words have power to influence others. Find out how you can contribute. So this is not only the story that you're telling to other people, it's also the story you tell to yourself. I'd like to bring that up. If you're telling yourself you're a loser and you're never going to get anywhere, that has to stop immediately. You have to start telling yourself that you're successful and you're going to make it. And it's just that easy of a tweak. And you tell yourself that every day, that you're never giving up and you're going to keep going. So that is write your own story, write your narrative, write who you want to be. You get to decide that. The second bullet point here says a career in social media management, book writing, content writing, or blogging could be for you. So if any of those things is something that you wanted to start, then this is your message that, yeah, now's the time to do that. You figured it out. That is exactly what you should be doing. All right. Bullet 3 says use words and visualize it as you write them to manifest more money into your life. This is a standard practice for law of attraction and manifesting. Think about where you want to be, not what you don't want, what you do want. Picture yourself in the life, who you're with, how you're living. And just focus on that and you will draw it to you. All right, write your own story, guys. Write your own story. Now we have control card. All right, so 3 bullets. Try to be a little more flexible and allow the universe to work its magic. So what this tells me is that you might get a little hung up on the how it's going to happen. All right, so sometimes we think that we were supposed to start one way and we end up going another. And I keep going back to that GPS, like, things happen, you're on your way, you started your business, and Maybe you were going to move into an office and you finally, buckle down and you're at the point where you're moving into an actual office with employees and something blocks you from getting it. Maybe the rental agreement didn't go through and you're still forced to work from home. This is not a time to panic. This is you being redirected. A GPS, like the universe goes, we're, course correcting, correcting. They're trying to keep you on path. So don't get upset when things get altered. Okay, try and take a deep breath and say, there's a reason for this. Maybe there was a better place coming up that you would never have seen if you hadn't have been bumped from the original lease. Do you understand what I mean? Sometimes things happen that they feel irritating and harsh when they first happen, but that's only because the universe had something better. So when you ask for this new story in your head and when you start to visualize your abundance, I want you to ask for it that or better, because most of the time we can't even fathom the coolest thing that can happen. We can't even imagine. We have no idea that we could have even asked for so much, and we will get more than we ever expected. So whenever you ask for something, let go of how it happens and always ask for that or better. Okay? That's your messages for this week. I am wishing you all the health, wealth, and abundance, and take care. I hope to see you back next week.